The Last Time Is Now tournament began tonight on Monday Night Raw, and of course it will conclude with someone battling John Cena in his final match at Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C. on December the 13th. Who will that challenger be? Well, we had 2 matches tonight. We're going to have 2 matches on Friday that we're going to talk about. 2 matches scheduled for next Monday in Madison Square Garden. And then I assume 2 more matches on Friday Night SmackDown. And I think by my calculations, that takes care of the first round. So let's go over it, shall we? Tonight on Monday Night Raw, Rusev defeated Damian Priest to move on. And Sheamus defeated Shinsuke Nakamura to move on. Now, a lot of people saw Rusev and Sheamus get announced last week, and they're saying, oh, man, got to have both of them win so we can set that up to run that back again. Well, if they do, they do. We haven't seen a bracket yet. We don't know how this bracket's going to shake out. So that's these mystery guys that they're talking about. It's really interesting to see how they're going to throw them in here. Now, let's talk about, again, I'm not going to dissect the Rusev match or the Sheamus match. Very good matches. Honoring John Cena. All of them have a history with John Cena except for Damian Priest. So, Sheamus won his first world title from John Cena. Rusev drove a tank to the ring when he lost to Cena at WrestleMania 31. So, we'll have to see how the rest of this shakes out. But, let's talk about the matches that were announced for this coming Friday, because that's where the intrigue is now. These matches are behind us. The intrigue is what's going to be moving forward. So, we saw him on Monday Night Raw tonight. Jey Uso, who is going to be part of the men's War Games match, is going to battle The Miz on SmackDown. And then in the other match on SmackDown, it's going to be LA Knight taking on a man who, when Nick Aldis drew the name, he said he's going to keep it as a surprise. So, let's talk about that first. Now, better yet, let's talk about the other matches too, because this surprise speculation could go in a lot of different directions. So that's coming up on Friday. On Monday, next Monday on Raw, the return of Gunther taking on the NXT superstar Javon Evans. And then, in another match on Monday Night Raw, Solo Sikoa will battle another surprise opponent. We speculated last week about when they started announcing these. How are they going to keep some surprises? Guys that don't work here. Legends that are coming back. However they're going to do that. How are they going to keep them a surprise? Well, this is a good way to do it. It's a very good way to do it. So who fills the shoes of these surprise superstars in these matchups? Well, let's look at it again, because the wild speculation all day long in the wrestling community coming off the Friday Night SmackDown announcement is that LA Knight would face Joe Hendry. And that is just a given. It's going to be Joe Hendry. Well, I would have guessed that too. But judging by this announcement for next Monday at Madison Square Garden, I think Solo Sikoa will probably face Joe Hendry. Maybe. I don't know. If you heard me last week, I went to bat for Matt Cardona, a New York native, to be the Madison Square Garden surprise. But guess what? Friday Night SmackDown is also in New York. It's in Albany. He might not get as big of a pop in Albany as he does in Madison Square Garden, But Cardona could easily battle LA Knight and LA Knight win, and it's okay. Another surprise that we could see is Nick Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler in the WWE. It could be Ziggler. Very well could be Ziggler. He could fill that spot on Friday night. So you're asking me, okay, so you think the surprises are going to be Ziggler and Cardona? Not so fast. I don't know. You know who else is from New York or whose family's from New York? Chris Jericho. I don't know. Maybe. I doubt it. But maybe. Lots of Madison Square Garden, you're going to get a big pop for a lot of people. Okay? Doesn't have to be a hometown guy. So you know who I think it could be? The Madison Square Garden? Look at the matchup again. It's Solo Sikoa coming over from Friday Night SmackDown, which I find interesting. Like, you could have easily had LA Knight's match against the mystery opponent be on Raw, which is the brand he's on, and Solo Sikoa's mystery opponent match be on SmackDown, which is the brand he's on. So they switched them for some reason. I assume it's based on who it's going to be. But Solo Sikoa's opponent could very easily be Roman Reigns in Madison Square Garden. Now, again, you know, last week when I was on here with Mr. Andy York, I said that I think Roman Reigns should be the one to beat John Cena in his last match. Now, Roman Reigns is one of those guys that you don't necessarily want to see go through the whole tournament because he has that aura about him, the surprise factor. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I think my two best guesses are going to be Matt Cardona on Friday and Joe Hendry on Monday. City Kitty in the chat. Solo and Roman is my guess too. See, it makes sense, right? Find a way to run that back. I think it makes sense. We'll see. I think Joe Hendry is one of them, for sure. Matt Cardona, I'm taking a leap of faith on. We'll see. Joe Hendry is one of them. Sam Roberts speculated earlier today on his Not Sam Wrestling Live show that he thought it would be Gunther, but Gunther is at least announced. So, not going to be Gunther in one of the surprise spots. But let's go back to LA Knight for a second. Because you have to look at a surprise match and you wonder, in a surprise, the surprise guy coming in is probably going to win, right? Why else would he be a surprise? If he's not going to win, or if he's not a big name, big shock value, why else would you keep it a surprise? For Solo to lose, he's a heel, it's fine. He'll figure it out. But LA Knight is in this weird spot of he's never been world champion. He didn't get the match against CM Punk as Saturday night's main event. Jey Uso did. And then you saw the next week when he came down to the ring, the fan had the sign that said, "We don't want Jey, we want LA Knight." He's one of the most popular wrestlers on the roster. But he's not in the headlining matches. Or at least winning the headlining matches. Top merch seller, all the things, catchphrases, good on the mic, pretty good in the ring. Like, you'd think he's a guy that has it all. So why has he not gotten a world title run? Well, winning this tournament would go a long way in solidifying LA Knight as a top guy, which we know he is, but the booking recently just hasn't shown that. So why is that? I don't know. Maybe creative and management is not happy with his in-ring work. Maybe they don't think he can go toe-to-toe on the mic with a CM Punk or a John Cena or a whatever, you know? There's something off. I don't know what it is. That being said, if you're booking LA Knight against a surprise opponent. What if LA Knight loses? LA Knight didn't get the shot at the World Championship. LA Knight then the following week lost to Braun Breaker in a match that the commentary team specifically said it's going to put you in a driver's seat for a World Championship match. He lost that one. So what happens if he exits the John Cena tournament in the first round? It's not a championship match, but it doesn't matter. Like I said a minute ago, most people want to see LA Knight win this tournament and face John Cena. Most people want to see LA Knight as world champion. What if he loses? Where's the confidence in LA Knight? Is that the end of a serious push for LA Knight? I don't know. It's a weird spot for them to be in. LA Knight's got to figure out a way to recover. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. All that to say, my official predictions for the mystery opponents. LA Knight is going to face, just because I had to stick with my original prediction of who's going to win the tournament. I'm kind of stuck to that. It's going to be LA Knight against Joe Hendry on Friday Night SmackDown. LA Knight's going to win. Madison Square Garden Monday night, Solo Sikoa will lose to the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns in the John Cena Last Time Is Now tournament. And then there'll be more matches on SmackDown. That'll wrap up the first round. Maybe we'll see semifinals on Raw, SmackDown, and the tournament finals of Survivor Series. Again, we haven't seen a bracket yet. We don't know. But it is exciting to see what's going to happen and who is going to face John Cena for his final match Saturday, December the 13th, at Saturday night's main event. Now, speaking of that Saturday night main event, I didn't mention this a minute ago. John Cena made the announcement that show is going to feature exhibitions between WWE superstars and NXT superstars, just the way he wants it, to pave the way for the future of the business. Now, he's very clear to say these are exhibitions, probably because you don't want to bury the NXT talent. So some of them's going to have to win. You can put a guy in there like AJ Styles. He can eat a pin. He's okay. Dragon Lee can eat a pin. He's okay. But should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun on that Saturday night's main event.